Genuinely, Steph, if you're watching this, I genuinely don't like Blake Lively.
An update on the Justin Baldoni dust up with Blake Lively. You know that Justin and his team promised to start releasing all of his correspondence with her. They're saying we'll be an open book.
Let's set the stage with a question that's been on everyone's lips lately. What is really going on with Ryan Reynolds? The man who has spent years building his reputation as Hollywood's lovable wisecracker, the self-deprecating, sarcastic guy next door, is now facing an avalanche of allegations that could shatter his once flawless image. We're diving into the controversies, the behind-the-scenes conflicts, and the whispers from industry insiders that suggest the Ryan Reynolds we see on screen might be very different from the one calling the shots behind the camera.
They believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
It all starts with what looks like the beginning of a pattern, one that's hard to ignore once you start connecting the dots. Remember the filming of Deadpool 2? That was supposed to be Ryan's big moment to solidify himself not just as the star, but as the creative force behind the franchise. But instead of the triumph he likely envisioned, reports of toxic behavior began to emerge. One of the most infamous incidents involves his personal makeup artist. According to insiders, the makeup artist wasn't available for some last-minute reshoots due to prior commitments. Seems like a fairly standard scheduling conflict, right? Well, not if you're Ryan Reynolds. Allegedly, he didn't take this news well, at all. In fact, sources claim he threw a massive tantrum, demanding the artist return immediately or risk being blacklisted from the industry entirely. "If you don't come back, you will never work in Hollywood again," he reportedly said. Let that sink in for a second. Who does this guy think he is? A studio head? The president of Hollywood? The sheer audacity of that threat speaks volumes about the ego driving these interactions. And it didn't stop there. Apparently, even the executives at 20th Century Fox were frustrated, but their hands were tied. By that point, Reynolds had taken such tight control of the Deadpool franchise that they had no choice but to bend to his whims. Imagine being so difficult to work with that even the studio, who stands to lose millions if things fall apart, feels powerless to rein you in. And all of this over a bit of powder and contouring? Talk about priorities.
And gentlemen, just buckle up. This is amazing. If you really want to get into how psychotic Ryan Reynolds is, the fact that he cast her as an expert for this will really clarify that for you, okay? I'm thinking, oh, it's got to be something important. No, she appeared as an expert to deliver to audiences what the definition of a bromance is.
But that was just the tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about his clashes with directors. Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool movie and was instrumental in bringing the character's vision to life, didn't return for the sequel. Why? According to Miller himself, it was all because Ryan Reynolds wanted full creative control. Ryan wanted full control, and I wasn't willing to fight every single decision, Miller once said. Translation: Reynolds made the process so unbearable that even the man who helped launch the franchise decided it wasn't worth the battle. Think about that for a moment. How bad does it have to get for a director to walk away from their own creation? And it wasn't just directors feeling the heat. Marina Baccarin, who played Vanessa, Wade Wilson's love interest in the first Deadpool film, found her role significantly reduced in the sequel. Word on the street is that she had a disagreement with Reynolds on set, and let's just say he didn't handle it well. Instead of resolving things professionally, Reynolds allegedly went out of his way to sideline her. She was iced out of press events, excluded from promotional tours, and conspicuously absent from premiere group photos. If you didn't know any better, you'd think she wasn't even in the movie. It's almost as if Reynolds decided to erase her for daring to challenge him. That's not just petty, it's downright vindictive.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
And then there's TJ Miller, another Deadpool co-star who didn't hold back when describing his experiences with Reynolds. TJ openly admitted that Reynolds was weirdly mean to him on set, not in a joking, playful way, but in a way that felt genuinely hostile. One particular moment stands out. During a scene, Reynolds, staying in character as Deadpool, reportedly belittled TJ in front of the entire crew. "You know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star," he allegedly said, adding some condescending remarks about TJ's role being all about delivering exposition before the movie could get back to the real story. Imagine hearing that from the guy who's supposed to be leading the cast. And let's not forget, TJ is a comedian, someone who knows how to take a joke. If even he found Reynolds' behavior crossing the line, it speaks volumes.
I have got some major scoops. I mean, everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats. So let's jump right in. Welcome back to Candace.
Of course, the list of grievances doesn't end there. Rebecca Ferguson, who co-starred with Reynolds in the 2017 sci-fi thriller Life, has also hinted at her own unpleasant experiences. While she didn't explicitly name names, her comments about dealing with an insecure and angry co-star paint a pretty clear picture. She even went so far as to refuse to share scenes with this person, opting instead to act opposite a tennis ball rather than deal with their presence. That's not just unprofessional, it's downright toxic. And while she hasn't confirmed it was Reynolds, well, let's just say the timeline and context speak for themselves. And then there's Jake Gyllenhaal. Once upon a time, he and Reynolds were the picture of Hollywood romance, laughing together in interviews, cracking jokes, and even poking fun at their uncanny resemblance. But fast forward a few years and Jake won't even acknowledge Ryan's existence. When asked about Reynolds in a recent interview, Jake shut down completely, saying, "I have nothing to say about him." The icy tone, the visible irritation. It's clear that whatever happened between them wasn't a minor disagreement. The fallout was real, and Jake isn't interested in pretending otherwise.
He literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I can just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say.
Even the directors and filmmakers outside of Reynolds' immediate circle have shared their thoughts on his behavior. And let's just say they haven't been glowing. Quentin Tarantino, one of the most respected names in Hollywood, didn't hold back when discussing Reynolds' Netflix projects. He dismissed them outright, saying, "Ryan Reynolds has made $50 million on this movie and $50 million on that movie. I don't even know what those movies are. Have you seen them? Ouch." And then there's Chris Columbus, the man behind classics like Home Alone and Harry Potter, who publicly slammed Reynolds for pitching a stoner parody of Home Alone. Columbus called it an insult to cinema and urged Reynolds to leave classic films alone. When two legendary filmmakers take the time to critique you publicly, it's safe to say your reputation isn't in the best shape. Even Reynolds' personal life isn't immune to scrutiny. His ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson, once described him as passive-aggressively jealous, a polite way of saying insecure and controlling. And let's not forget his engagement to Alanis Morissette, which ended abruptly, inspiring an entire album of heartbreak and betrayal. When two of your exes share eerily similar descriptions of your behavior, it's hard to dismiss the pattern.
Ryan are all out of cards, and they've got nothing to prove this right now.
So what does all of this add up to? A picture of a man whose carefully crafted public persona might just be a mask? The witty, charming, self-deprecating Ryan Reynolds we see in interviews could be hiding someone very different, a controlling, insecure, and power-hungry individual who doesn't take kindly to being challenged. And while his PR team has done an admirable job of keeping these stories under wraps for years, the cracks are starting to show. As more and more people come forward with their experiences, it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore the allegations.
Blake Lively's team has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing, this lawsuit, saying,
But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Ryan Reynolds. His behavior and the fallout from it has also cast a spotlight on his wife, Blake Lively. Once considered Hollywood's golden couple, their image is now under siege. And with Blake embroiled in her own legal battle against Justin Baldoni, the question is, how much longer can they maintain their picture-perfect facade? Stay tuned because the drama is far from over.
New video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni shows unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
So let's talk about the storm that's been brewing around Blake Lively, a storm so big that it's threatening to completely derail her once pristine reputation. If you thought the drama surrounding Ryan Reynolds was messy, buckle up because Blake's legal battle with Justin Baldoni takes things to a whole new level. What started as a dispute on the set of their film It Ends With Us has spiraled into one of the most explosive legal showdowns Hollywood has seen in years. And the fallout, it's far-reaching. This isn't just a scandal. It's a full-blown war with careers, reputations, and millions of currency on the line. So here's the deal. Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni late last year, accusing him of creating a hostile environment on set and engaging in behavior she described as inappropriate. But Baldoni didn't just sit back and let those allegations go unanswered. Oh no, he came back swinging with a massive countersuit claiming defamation and accusing Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, of orchestrating a calculated smear campaign against him. And if you think that's wild, wait until you hear the details.
Shutting down a woman's claims.
She is claiming that there was sexual harassment. He's saying none of it is true, never happened, never did.
According to Baldoni's legal team, this feud didn't just happen overnight. They claim Lively had been planning to take control of the film from the very beginning. It all started with a script rewrite, one that Lively reportedly insisted on. Baldoni, as the director of the film, initially pushed back, but that's when things took a turn. In court documents, Baldoni alleges that Lively used her friendship with Taylor Swift and, of course, her husband Ryan Reynolds to pressure him into accepting her changes. And we're not talking about a friendly nudge here. Baldoni described the experience as being cornered by a powerful trio that made it impossible for him to say no. He even joked in a text to Lively that he liked her rewrite and didn't need Swift and Reynolds there to persuade him. But let's be real, that text doesn't exactly scream genuine enthusiasm. It feels more like someone who realized he was outnumbered and decided to cut his losses.
Blake Lively's team says that in showing this video, they are blaming the victim here. They also say that they'd prefer litigating this in court rather than in the public sphere.
Lively's response to Baldoni's text. It's nothing short of revealing. She referred to Swift and Reynolds as her dragons, saying they were there to protect her and ensure her talents were recognized. And while that might sound empowering on the surface, it also paints a picture of someone who knows exactly how much influence she wields and isn't afraid to use it. They don't care about egos, Lively reportedly said in her message. They make sure I'm seen for all I offer. It's a bold statement, but one that raises an important question. Was this about being seen, or was it about control?
That Justin won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So his lawyer told us that their recent court filings show how scared they are.
And speaking of control, let's not forget how this entire ordeal has played out in the media. Lively's team wasted no time filing accusations against Baldoni, claiming he had orchestrated a smear campaign against her. But Baldoni's camp fired back just as quickly, accusing Lively of doing the exact same thing. In his countersuit, Baldoni alleges that Lively manipulated other cast members into shunning him. And listen to this. He even claims that her influence extended to the author of the book on which the film is based. Imagine being so influential that you can turn an entire set, and even the original author, against someone. That's not just power, that's next-level dominance.
And he says, look, this is just, Hollywood is based on pure fear, cultivated by both of them and their very powerful friends.
But here's where things get even more interesting. Baldoni's legal team has released evidence they say proves Lively's claims are exaggerated. One key piece of evidence, unedited footage from the set of it, ends with us that Baldoni claims refutes Lively's allegations. According to Baldoni, the footage shows that her accusations don't hold up when you look at what actually happened. Of course, Lively's team has dismissed this, saying the footage only further supports her claims. It's a classic case of he said, she said, or in this case, he filmed, she alleged, and it's left the public divided.
But yeah, it's just getting super nasty, and it seems like he's not cowering to this attempted gag order.
Yeah, I don't really understand Blake Lively's point here.
And let's not forget the money. Baldoni is suing Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist for a jaw-dropping amount, accusing them of defamation and extortion. He's also filed a separate lawsuit against the New York Times, claiming their coverage of the feud was biased and defamatory. Meanwhile, Lively has doubled down on her accusations, refusing to back down and insisting she has the evidence to prove her case. It's a legal tug-of-war, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Use this tool of a lawsuit or whatever to get it into the public atmosphere, and now you're not going to allow me the chance to respond in the same avenue?
But here's the thing. While the legal battle rages on, the court of public opinion is already in session. And let's just say Lively and Reynolds aren't exactly winning. Experts have noted that the couple's once flawless image is starting to crack under the pressure. Their carefully curated Instagram personas, the witty captions, the playful jabs at each other, suddenly feel a lot less authentic when juxtaposed with these allegations. And while they've largely stayed out of the spotlight since the lawsuits began, their silence is speaking volumes. Are they laying low to avoid adding fuel to the fire, or are they struggling to come up with a strategy to repair the damage?
Now to the ongoing Hollywood drama everyone is talking about, the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Meanwhile, Baldoni's image is also taking a hit, though perhaps not as severely. Yes, he's facing serious accusations, but his decision to release evidence and speak out against Lively has earned him some sympathizers. Some see him as a man standing up to Hollywood's power couple, refusing to be bullied into submission. Others, however, view his countersuit as an attempt to deflect attention from the allegations against him. It's a polarizing situation, to say the least.
This is such a interpretation of perspective, because I watched the footage, and I'm sure we all have, and, it's very easy to argue.
And then there's the ripple effect. This isn't just about Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni anymore. The drama has pulled in other players, from co-star Isabella Ferrer to even Taylor Swift. Ferrer, who played a younger version of Lively's character in the film, has found herself caught in the crossfire. Some have accused Lively of overshadowing Ferrer during interviews, while others have pointed out that Ferrer initially praised Baldoni before later unfollowing him on social media. It's a tangled web, and no one involved is emerging unscathed.
I think this was a very dicey move, because I think this very much opens up interpretation to what Blake Lively is saying was uncomfortable, and the key word here, unwelcomed.
As for Swift, her involvement might be minimal, but it's significant enough to make headlines. Baldoni's claim that she and Reynolds helped pressure him into accepting Lively's script changes has sparked debate about their role in the feud. Are they loyal friends standing up for Lively, or are they enablers who helped escalate the conflict? It's a question that doesn't have a clear answer, but it's one that's keeping fans and critics alike glued to the drama.
This is a big mess for everyone involved. The legal drama playing out in multiple courts now, literally from coast to coast, and all kinds of people close to these stars, from personal trainers to friends like Taylor Swift, finding their names mentioned as part of this ongoing fight.
And let's not forget the broader implications of all this. Hollywood is no stranger to scandals, but this one feels different. It's not just about bad behavior on set or legal disputes. It's about power dynamics, influence, and the lengths people will go to protect their image. Lively and Reynolds have spent years cultivating their brand as Hollywood's golden couple, but this scandal is forcing people to take a closer look, and what they're finding isn't pretty.
That's going to be, probably a game time decision. Anyone that reasonably has information that can be, that can provide evidence in this case is going to be deposed.
So where does this leave us? With court dates set and evidence being released on both sides, it's clear this battle is far from over. But one thing's for sure, the outcome will have lasting consequences, not just for Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni, but for everyone involved. Will Lively be able to prove her claims and salvage her reputation? Will Baldoni's countersuit shift the narrative in his favor? Or will this entire ordeal end in mutual destruction, leaving both parties with tarnished legacies? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and see where this roller coaster ride takes us next. Until then, stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and updates. Goodbye for now.